Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing some straight backs, but we're going to put a little pizzazz on them. I know you guys are tired of the average straight back, so we're going to spice it up a little bit. So as you can tell, my client does have a little bit of breakage in her edges. So we're going to really try to avoid that area as much as possible. We don't want to damage it any more. If you guys don't know already, I do not braid tight. I've never been known to braid tight or even had that complaint from anyone. So I'm not going to be stressing her edges any more than they are or than they need to, because we want to grow them back and not damage them more. So the first thing we're going to do is put some heart braids on the side. So, you guys are used to these heart braids. So I'm going to do is just start parting that out. Yes, they're straight backs, and I know I normally start with like a middle part, but in this case, we really don't need to start right away with the middle part. I just wanted to get straight to it and start with the heart braids. And I've parted those two humps out. I've parted straight down the middle of the heart, and now I'm doing that triangular part so that I can start braiding. I am doing this voiceover outside, so if you guys hear my dog barking or the birds chirping, I just felt like it would be more relaxing for me to complete this voiceover outside. But we are diving right into the heart braid, and I'm going to skip a little bit of this because I feel like you guys are so used to this that you should already know by now. If you watch my channel, if you're new to my channel, we have a number of braids where I'm explaining how this is done, so go ahead and check back on that. So of course she came with me with the inspiration picture, and I will probably have that in the thumbnail, or I will put the picture on the side for you guys to see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm gonna end up sewing these two tail ends of the heart together later on, so stay tuned for that as well. So now that I've completed the heart, I want to go ahead and jump into the middle part, and it's the same thing. So I'm starting from forward, which is from her forehead, and you always want to step in front of your client when parting your middle part. You always want to see and make sure that it is straight. So always step in front of them, step behind them, move their head in whatever direction you need to complete the middle part. So when I have a client with the perimeter of her nape is pretty short, which means the width of it is just not a long width. It's kind of shorter than the average. I always put at least one layer of knotless braids in the back, especially when I'm doing straight backs. So this is gonna give space for the straight backs to not pile up on top of each other, but it also adds volume, and it also lessens the tension on her nape. So even though I'm doing this strictly because I want to give it some more space for the straight backs, it also is a plus because of the volume and the less tension on the nape. So these braids are going to be, I think, butt length braids. So that normally adds some time to the styling, but as long as you keep adding hair and then you measure it out to where they want it to end, it's a breeze to do longer braids, as long as they all fall on the same length. So now that I've completed that, I'm going right into the straight backs, and from the heart section of the straight backs, I just kind of part where I feel like it would have started from the front, and just started braiding it back, because again the back of her perimeter is so short. These braids, once you part them to the back, you want to make it as small as you think you need. Like, you don't want to carry the same size all the way to the back. The back has to get smaller. So I start out at that size, and then as I go towards the back, I'm making it a smaller space because the braid has to fit. All the braids have to fit back there. So you don't want to keep the same spacing from the front as you do at the back. So for the most part in this style, I'm going to be braiding out where where the heart is, and then I'm pretty much not gonna skip on. I'm gonna skip out the other side because the rest is just going to be straight backs. And she did not want a heart on the other side. She just kind of wanted it on one side. So everything else after this side is really straight back. So for this section, this is a little bit of pizzazz, I guess we can put into the braids. Is we're parting out the top of the heart, and then we're going to braid that out, and it's going to be like a little triangle, and then we're going to jump over one of her braids and add the end of this braid that I'm plaiting out into the braid that we jump over into. Very confusing, but we're going to skip a braid, and then we're going to add the tail end of that plait into the braid next. And as you can see, I am avoiding her edges. She does like a lot of baby hairs. So I'm going to avoid the edges, not only so that we're not putting more tension on it, but also because, it's short and we don't really want to stress it. But she also like her baby hairs out. So when you're adding hair into a braid, you want to make sure that you are lined up with said braids. You don't want to put it in at a diagonal. You kind of want it to come straight across. So I'm going to braid her hair back some, and then once I hit the section where I feel like it lines up with that triangular plait, then I'm going to add it into this braid. All right, so I've braided back some now, and that is when I just grab the hair and I just add it in and just keep braiding. There's nothing special to it. I just kind of grab it, add it in where, under my pointer, and then just keep braiding, and it just falls right in place. So now I've braided some out, and the rest I said is straight back. So just continue braiding, and start from the middle and go towards the ears. That is a little trick to make sure that the braids are proportional, and if they are not proportional, the one that won't be proportional will be closest to the ear, which is less noticeable than if it's at the top of the head. All right, so now that I've completed the style, I'm going to go ahead and sew the heart braids down because they're supposed to be a crisscross. So I'm going to sew them together. You just make sure the thread is not showing, and then I'm going to go in and sleek her edges. So the first thing I do is, put the jam on there, jam of your choice, and then I spread it going forward first, and now I am doing the curves. And I know that this is hard for most people to do. She like exaggerated baby hair. If this is not your preference, keep your comment to yourself about it. But that she's young, she can do, as she pleases, and she wants exaggerated baby hairs. That's just fine. If you don't like it, I mean, you just don't like it. That's cool. So then I'm going to go in with the foam wrapping mousse. I normally like to use the magic finger mousse because I just feel like it's so much smoother. But the foam wrap, if you're out, or you can use foam wrap mousse. Just don't use curling mousse. Mousse that is made for curly hair is not good for braids. So now this is the final look, you guys. It is butt length braids, a little bit past her butt for real. And these are straight back. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to turn your notifications on for when I release videos. And thank you guys for watching. It is much appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time.